Cotco and Olivine, and I was there until the company was unbundled in 2014. Since then, I've been doing my private business, and I rejoined TSL Limited as Chief Executive in February of 2018.
So you're the current CEO of TSL?
Correct.
TSL, what does it stand for?
It stands for nothing, it's just a name, but TSL has three clusters. We've got the agriculture cluster where we own the tobacco auction, where we grow maize, soya beans, wheat, chilies, bananas. We've got a logistics cluster which is called Back Logistics. We have warehousing, we have clearing and forwarding, we have an inland port, and other businesses, storage. We own the Toyota franchise for forklifts. And then we have a property cluster. We own quite a large amount of warehousing.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Nomsa Dube. I'm a chartered accountant by training. I'm currently the finance director of Shrimps Holdings Zimbabwe. My experience has, for a greater part, been in the accounting profession. I have worked for Deloitte Chartered Accountants, also as a professional, and also as the finance director for Zimbabwe and Zambia and Malawi. I've worked for Art Corporation for 9 years, a listed entity, as a finance director. Art Corporation basically was in a lot of industry, mainly batteries, paper, and also owned timber estates in Mutare. I think that's about it.
Thank you, ma'am. At the back,
My name is Robert Webb. I'm a farmer in Nash Central, Mazarabandi area. I've been farming for 50 years. In the past, I've spent my time in the tobacco industry. I've been president of the Zimbabwe Tobacco Association in the past. I've also been vice president of the International Tobacco Growers Association, which represents countries like India, China, Brazil, America, Poland, Hungary, and such. I've also been a board member of different companies. I've also been a board member of Past Bank.
I'm a marketing and corporate communication practitioner. I work for the Zimbabwe National Water Authority as the head of corporate communications and marketing. I've experience in water resources management and communication as well as marketing.
My name is Bernard Mache. I work for the Ministry of Agriculture, and I have experience in the farmer training and agriculture extension. And I'm representing the ministry as
You work under Ministry of Agriculture as well and our capacity.
This is my area of our ministry.
I'm Director, Department of Agricultural Extension, and I've been in the department for a long time.
Thank you. Other board members?
My name is Philbert Mambi, ex-Gibeon. I started farming in Sentina in 1987, growing tobacco. Currently, I'm farming in a concession, doing soya, wheat, tobacco, and a bit of horticulture. Also, former ZTA councillor in District 15 Sentina. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Matidi, we go to the on 28th of March 2019. I'm sure you will come from you. take the floor, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Yes, we did receive your letter, reference number 97, dated the 28th of March 2019, in which you requested certain information from TINB, which you requested to be submitted by the 12th.
Maybe let's start with overview of tobacco industry right now. And then we'll go to the later on. Do you have a copy of the presentation that you can share?
Unfortunately, up to Friday, the 19th of July 2019, a total of 233.6 million kgs of tobacco had been sold at an average price of $1.97, realizing a total of 406.
May you specify when you say $1.97? Is it RTK dollar, US dollar? What did you share?
Well, apologies again. It's United States dollars. The transactions in the tobacco industries are initially denominated in US dollars, and for payment to farmers, it is converted into Zimbabwean dollars. So the average price currently is $1.97, United States dollars. What we have seen, what we're witnessing is that the average price is 33% lower than it was last year. Last year at this time, the average price was United States dollars $2.92 per kg. For the different auction floors, the prices are as follows. Again, these are all in United States dollars. $1.87 at tobacco sales floor, $1.59 at Boca tobacco floor, and $1.53 per kg at Premier tobacco auction floor. Whereas on contract, the average is now $2 per kg. What we've seen is that initially the prices were started off very low because of various issues that have been brought, that were being raised by, especially by merchants and contracting companies. But over the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, we've seen prices slowly creeping upwards to the extent that the deficit or the difference in price between last year and this year slowly went down from about 40% and it's now at 33%. Turning on to the number of growers, we now have a total of 185,892 farmers who are registered to sell, at least for this year. And this is compared. This can be compared to 145,695 that were in our books last year. Yes, there have been comments that the number of growers continues to rise, but our reports indicate that out of the 185,000 plus farmers who've registered with TINB, over 70% have actually produced something. They've actually delivered tobacco for sale. And then going into the new year, or into the coming season, so far 47,854 farmers have registered to grow tobacco next year. On seed sales, situation is very, very worrying at the moment. The amount of seed that we've sold in quantity is 711,750 grams. Sorry, it's sorry, if I can start again. So far, up to the last week, a total of 318,005 grams of seed had been sold. This can be compared to 711,750 grams which had been sold by the same time last year. This indicates a massive 55.3% reduction in the amount of seeds sold, which is very, very worrying. Because we'd expected that around this time, when farmers, especially from the northern areas, who sow their seed beds late in July and August, would have come in to buy seed, but our figures continue to be low. The reduction in seed sales can be attributed to a number of factors. We witnessed a similar scenario in 2016 when farmers started to be paid, or rather their proceeds were now being paid straight into their bank accounts. In other words, they did not have ready cash to buy the seed. But eventually, I mean, I'm now talking about 2016, eventually the amount of seeds sold eventually came up to the levels that we expected. But for this year, because of the various changes in terms of the monetary and financial systems, we had thought that perhaps by this time, perhaps the serious farmers would have come in to buy their seed, but we are not witnessing that. Some farmers have also complained of shortages of water. As we are aware, the country went through a very serious drought last season. So in some areas, I know in Burundi, in northern areas, there's not even enough water even for normal household use in some cases. If we now go in terms of deliveries, when the season started, as I said earlier, it started off very slowly, with farmers being very cautious, not understanding the payment systems or the implications of the monetary systems that had been implemented. It started off very slowly, and it peaked around May, June, and now the deliveries are starting to come down. But still, they have not come down to the extent that we normally expect at this time of year. The industry is still processing between 2 to 2.5 million kgs of tobacco per day. So the figure that I gave of 233.6 million kgs is only 2% lower than the same amount of tobacco, than the amount of tobacco that had been sold at the same time last year. So in other words, the drought, yes, it affected a lot of other crops, but it appears not to have affected tobacco to the extent that we had imagined. Last year, as you might be aware, we produced a record crop of 253 million kgs, and from the information that we're gathering from the industry, it looks like perhaps we'll get over 245 million kgs of tobacco. So it will not be very, very different from the amount of tobacco that we produced last year. But the big factor, of course, is the 33% reduction in average price. In terms of numbers of growers, we say that 25,985 are communal area farmers, 16,585 are A1 farmers, 2,640 are what we term small-scale commercial farmers. Those are farmers that are farming in what used to be called the former African purchase areas. 2,646 are A2 farmers, and you can see that most of our growers are now coming from the communal and A1 sector, and that's also where the bulk of our tobacco is coming from. The A2s, or the large-scale commercial farmers, are not contributing as much as they used to before. As for exports, so far this year, a total of 68 million kgs of tobacco valued at 261 million United States dollars have been exported to 61 destinations across the globe. In 2018, by the same time, we had exported 49 million kilograms of tobacco at a price of 216 million United States dollars. Our major export destinations include the People's Republic of China, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates, and also Belgium. The United Arab Emirates acts as like a conduit for tobacco going into the Middle East and other parts of Asia and also parts of Europe, whereas Belgium acts as a conduit for tobacco going into Europe and other parts of the world. So in brief, Honorable Chair, that is an update of the status of the industry.
Thank you. Honorable members, any questions you ask before we focus on the
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick one.
microphone?
Sorry. Thank you, Chair. Just a quick one for the record, Mr. Matibiri. What is the number of growers that have registered to grow this year? You gave us 447,000 1,000 as of this time last year. What is the number this year?
Yes, I said for 2018-2019, we've got 185,892. Okay, 185,892 so far. Who, in other words, those who
Supplementary question from Honorable Rashid. Are these verifiable farms that's going to be farming next year, or is it just listening?
These are verifiable farmers. Most of the farmers that will be registering now are those that are required to do so by their contracting companies. So they are verifiable. Do so by their contracting companies. So they are verifiable.
You said that you're seeing a massive reduction in terms of new farms. Seeing a massive reduction in terms of new farms to the Pakistan system. And given the challenges that you are facing, can you please tell this committee what is it that you are doing to solve those challenges that you are foreseeing? For example, to solve those challenges that you are foreseeing. For example, we have spoken about drought. What is it as a regulatory that you are going to make sure that we solve those problems with what are the ability?
Thank you. What I indicated was that from what we are seeing a massive reduction in the amount of seed that farmers are buying. Those seed beds, for example, for the irrigated crop would have been, sown around the first week of June. And this time of year, July and August, would be when most of our small-scale farmers, especially in the warmer regions, the northern regions, would be sowing their seedbeds. The warmer regions, the northern regions, would be sowing their seedbeds. But we are not seeing an increase in the amount of seed sold. And from our field staff, especially in those eastern regions, and also in parts of Manicaland and eastern parts of Mashonaland East, they have shortage of, and eastern parts of Mashonaland East, they have shortage of water. And a lot of them have indicated that in the end, they might have to, or they will probably be forced to look for seedlings from those farmers who have done seedbeds. And then you ask, what are we doing as an institution? And then you ask, what are we doing as an institution to mitigate this? We've always been out there with our drip irrigation scheme, where we've been assisting farmers through resources available by Agribank and occasionally by the Reserve Bank to establish drip irrigation systems to assist the farmers. We've also been assisting farmers wherever they can to form groups to produce their seedbeds as a group rather than as individuals, so as to move water as individuals, so as to move water, the available water resources efficiently.
Supplement. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Mr. Matibiri, you are aware of climate change. Seasons are changing. What used to happen 3 years ago is not what's going to happen in the next 2-3 years. We have a Department of Climate Change within the Ministry of Agriculture. How closely How closely are you working with them? So that we can mitigate these effects of drought brought about by climate change?
Yeah, the honourable member correctly points out, yes, we do have a department responsible for, we do have a department responsible for climate change in our ministry. We have a member of TIMB as part of the committee that is looking at how the industry can assist farmers mitigate the effects of climate change, and farmers mitigate the effects of climate change. And they've been having meetings and so on, and plans are afoot which I'm not currently aware of, to come up with a policy on how to deal with the issues to do with climate change. We are aware that, for example, the Tobacco Research Board issues to do with climate change. We are aware that, for example, the Tobacco Research Board has been breeding varieties of tobacco which are very resistant to, or fairly resistant or tolerant to drought. And I think this can be borne out by the amount of tobacco that has been brought to the market. When we thought that perhaps we would have a crop as low as 180 million kgs, we now have 233, and as I said, perhaps we're going to get even 245 million kgs and above. So things are being done. Tobacco kgs and above. So things are being done. Tobacco is slightly different from other crops in the sense that you reap the vegetative part, you reap the leaves. So it is perhaps to a certain extent already tolerant to climate change in that sense. But we're also wary of the other side, what happened in the Eastern Highlands, which was struck by a cyclone, that we should also doing other things to assist farmers, withstand excessive water as well. And the Tobacco Research Board is also looking into that, trying to breed varieties that can withstand water logging, because tobacco does not like wet feet, it doesn't like standing water.
Chairman, you want to contribute?
Yes, please. Thank you, Chair. I'm aware that the Tobacco Research Board have done quite a lot of research into looking at whether it's necessary to change planting dates, and they've gone back a long way and have ascertained that the planting dates currently allowed are the correct ones still.
Honorable Namani? Second, Honorable Sura.
Since the start of the season, there was an outcry of low prices. And there was a high intake, volume of intake of the force and the price were low. And you are saying now their prices are rising. Is it quality, or we are just now trying to fool farmers that they should buy seeds for next season? We have to know.
What do you mean when you say they are trying to fool farmers?
I'm trying to say the buyers are trying to raise price for farmers since the intake of seeds is low.
Okay.
Because from the start, farmers were crying. There was no price to be in the market. And now the intake now, about intake now is now going to the end, and prices are now rising. All the total of the sold with the more prices. Is it the quality? Yeah, now the farmers are being good quality. How do you explain that? Because we are not knowing that it's good quality, or we are now buying
Okay, you understood the question, right?
The chairman was
You want to?
first.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman. There's been a definite reduction in the quality of the crop due to the drought last year, which I think is widely acknowledged to be, the last time we had a drought that bad was 1992. So I think the quality has had a big effect on the price, although there are probably other factors as well.
what about the other aspect of the question?
What was that?
Now the price is rising.
The scope of rising
Oh, okay.
prices at the end of selling season.
I think what's happened, Chairman, is that at the beginning of the season, there was a perception that the crop was going to be very big. Then in mid-season, there was concern that the crop would be small. Now people have realized that the crop is big, but they've realized that there's a huge spread of grade qualities. And there are less of the top qualities than was expected because of the drought. So those prices are going higher. And I think that's what's driven the price up. I honestly don't believe there's any intention to fool farmers, and I also think that farmers are smart enough not to be fooled.
But they're desperate enough to be fooled, right?
I don't agree with that, Chairman. The smallholder farmer is a very astute person.
So now, how are we going to, so now it's farmers, or like farmers, how are they going to start for next season to get good prices? Because this year, they fix lower prices, and they are not going to buy some input for next season. And STMB are going to finance, because the fertilizers are too high now. And their income, they cannot buy fertilizer. And how are they going to do their own farming next season?
You respond.
Yeah, thank you, Honourable Member. One of the things that the new board was tasked with was to ensure that farmers remain viable. Yes, the prices might be low now, but like the chairman said, I think most of it had to do with the quality of the crop. And it also had to do with, part of it had to do with the various crop estimates that we're dealing with at particular stages of the marketing season. As the season progressed, certain buyers or certain orders started to come in. That is why we are now seeing perhaps an improvement in the prices. Now, going forward, we believe that those farmers, 85% of our tobacco in any case is grown under contract. In other words, the contracting companies give the farmer the inputs to produce the crop. So at least that 85% will be covered by the contracting companies themselves. They will continue to support the farmer. And then on our part as TIMB, together with the Reserve Bank, we're going to be rolling out a scheme where we'll be giving inputs to farmers, fertilizers, chemicals, for curing the crop, and also packaging material. And those inputs come at minimal cost. I think all farmers will bear testimony to that. The inputs supplied through the TIMB Tobacco Input Credit Scheme are the cheapest, and a lot of farmers have benefited from those. And we are looking, or we're hoping initially to support as much as 40,000 hectares, which is about 30% of the crop using that scheme. But now, because of the changes in the interbank rates, maybe we might only be able to do half as much, 20,000 hectares. That's the small-scale farmers, and it's for small-scale farmers only.
Thank you, Chairman.
Is there something?
Yeah.
Answer.
I have an issue here on the finance model that you really want to do. You say tobacco is a $1 billion business in this country, and you are borrowing outside the country 400 million to finance the industry. At the end of the season, you subtract the 400 million, you still have a bigger. I wanted to find out your finance model is what you said. How much are you intending to raise from the local financial institutions, which you will not export back at the end of the season?
Thank you. Yes, indeed, these contracting companies are obliged by law to bring in new money from outside the country to support production. But of late, TIMB together with the Reserve Bank, we are of the view that for the country to benefit the maximum from its from export of tobacco, it tobacco production has to be supported or sponsored locally, just like what used to happen prior to 2000. Farmers would go to the bank and borrow money, and then when the inflow, foreign currency inflows came in, they were all accounted for as inflows 100%. The current scenario obviously means that the contracting companies have to repay their loans outside the country first before the country starts to realize a positive effect from the export of tobacco. So yes, that is why we're saying if resources are availed by the Reserve Bank, we'll be able to support as much as 30% of national production through local money.
Dr. Martin, I just want clarification on that. You said the money is retained outside Zimbabwe by the contractors to pay their obligations there.
Yes, I'll just give an example. The biggest company that contracts tobacco borrows money from Hong Kong, 100% brings in foreign currency and uses that to pay for inputs to their growers. And then as the farmer sells, they recover that money in the form of tobacco, which they export outside. So in other words, we don't get the full value of our exports. Some of our tobacco is used to repay the loans that they would have taken outside.
So what is the country benefiting? How much, like this season, how much you remitted to Treasury?
I'm not privy to the actual numbers.
Let's talk of last season then.
Again, I'm not sure, because when those loans come in, they come in through the Reserve Bank, they don't come through TIMB.
No, I mean the tobacco industry as a whole.
Oh, okay. Last year, the tobacco that we exported, I think, I might be wrong, I think it was $741 million.
And how much
That's gross.
came in back to the country? Of the 700 million, how much was remitted to the country?
Again, I'm not clear on the actual figure, but I would estimate, as an estimate, I think about 250 million would have been used to repay outside loans. And again, that's my own personal estimate.
I'm not quite understanding that. Can you just clarify?
What I'm saying, Chairman, is the tobacco.
We read about figures in newspapers when you give press statements that this year tobacco generated maybe $1 billion. Of the $1 billion generated, how much goes outside of the country? And how much is remitted back into Zimbabwe?
As I said, the actual figures will be available from the Reserve Bank because they are the ones.
Why the Reserve Bank? You are the regulator.
No, when it comes to exchange control, we don't. When the companies, the contracting companies bring in money for supporting their growers, those figures are not disclosed to TIMB.
You say the contractors, they bring inputs. They bring finance to buy inputs, or they bring inputs into Zimbabwe. Which is which there?
They bring in finance to buy inputs.
Where do they buy their inputs from?
Some of them source them outside the country, but most of them source them within the country.
So they bring the inputs, not that they bring finance. If they are sourcing inputs out of the country, they are bringing inputs and selling those inputs to farmers, right?
From what I understand, Chairman, is that they bring in money and then they use that money to pay for the inputs from here because everything has to be accounted for by the Reserve Bank.
But they source the inputs from outside the country?
Not necessarily. I mean, when you talk of, for example, let's talk about fertilizer. About, I think, 75% or 80% of the ingredients that go into fertilizer are imported. So they'll bring in the money and then they'll advise the Reserve Bank, for example, that they wish to pay such and such a company outside the country.
So how is the country benefiting from tobacco?
The country
Because
benefits.
from a presentation, it means that all the money is taken back again outside the country. So how is the country benefiting from tobacco industry?
Chairman, not necessarily all the money goes
But
back.
most
Some.
of the money.
Well, I don't know whether it's most or some, but as I said, I'm not privy to those figures. That would be the Reserve Bank. But we know that, for example, as I said, for last year, this is just from the top of my head, maybe about 200 to 250 million would have been brought in by contracting companies to support production. And then in return, we exported, or rather, farmers were paid a total of about 747 million. So if you subtract 200, 250 from...
Dr. Martin, isn't this a smart way of externalizing? funds outside of the country? If you look at it.
I can't answer that one because, as I say, I don't have the actual figures at hand.
Okay.
Yeah. To simplify the question.
Michael.
Thanks, Dr. Matibiri, or the chairperson. I think what the chairman is requiring from you on the rotation of forex that the buyers do is what percent of the inputs for tobacco that you are certain that this should be coming from outside the country, which are actually bought by forex. If you can clarify on the percentage and then the income that we get from tobacco, we may now know how much is returned outside of the country. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's much clearer. In terms of the inputs required for tobacco production, we carried out a study together with some of the tobacco associations, and we came up with a figure of 40% of the inputs required for tobacco production would be foreign currency. The rest would be local, things like coal, labor, transport, and so on.
Chairman, maybe suggest that 40% of the income that we get from tobacco is returned outside.
Is that correct? That 40% of the income from tobacco sales.
Yeah, if you put it like that, that's very correct. That's very correct.
That's very correct.
Yes.
And then the 60%?
It's local costs.
Do you figure to calculate? Somebody will prove what you said.
Yeah, we can give you the study that was done by the Zimbabwe Tobacco Association.
No, I don't need the study. I need facts.
Yeah, we can supply those figures. The facts.
Honorable Stewart.
Oh, thank you, Chairman. Mr. Matibiri, you indicated that only 70% of the registered farmers are productive. Now, how does that compare to the previous seasons? Is that trend normal? If not, what are the reasons contributing to that figure of 70% from the 100%? And what is it that you are doing to encourage more farmers to be productive?
Honorable Member, you find that a lot of things very clear. It says that if you wish to grow tobacco in the coming season, you have to do so by the 31st of October. So yes, they will register before the 31st of October, but maybe come planting time, they don't have seedlings, or they've not found a sponsor, or they've not found the financial resources to grow the crop, so they don't grow the crop. So that's why we find, yes, the number of registered growers is always higher than those who actually sell. Yes, for this year, it's the figure is 70%, but for previous seasons, it's been much higher, 80%, around 80% being productive. And it's something that is always very difficult. Some farmers, like this season, they would have planted their crops. We went into some regions, for example, where they transplanted their tobacco into the field, and there was no more rain. The crop just died. In other words, they became non-productive, not because they did not want, they wanted to be, but because of the weather.
Honorable Soda, Honorable Mamonde.
Okay, thank you, Chair. My question is a follow-up to the inquiry that the chairperson was making on the issues of the finances. In your presentation, Dr. Matibiri, you indicated that, or maybe when you were answering, you indicated that you are not privileged to know the amount of finance that would have come into the country. Now, my question is, I would want to know, is there some kind of licensing that is done to these contractors when they are coming to do business in the country? And if there is some licensing, who does the licensing and on what basis are the contractors licensed?
Then maybe again as a follow-up to the inquiry that was being made by Honorable Nyabani,
to do with the pricing trend, where prices are beginning to pick up almost at the end of the season. Isn't that going to influence the pattern of sales that the farmers are going to make, like the following seasons? Because already people are studying. If they find out that prices will pick up almost at the end, obviously that the season, next season will be delayed, because farmers will just say, I will not deliver my crop by the opening of the floors. Probably at the end, that's when the price begins to pick up. Isn't that going to affect or influence the pattern of deliveries for the following seasons? Again, what are you doing to encourage farmers to buy more seed as TIMB? Because already we are having some statistics showing that farmers are not, maybe they are reluctant to buy seed. What are you doing as the regulator to encourage farmers to buy more seed for a bigger production? Thank you.
Some seasons you'll find the price very high at the beginning of the season, other times you'll find it high at the end of the season. At the moment, our biggest customers are the Chinese. They buy 40% of the packed weight of the crop, and the part of the crop they like is what we call the leaf, which is the higher part of the plant, which is the best smoking component, and that's what's being sold at the moment, and that'll be why those prices are high. Other years, the lower part of the plant may be in demand. So I think, again, farmers will draw on their own experience and make their own call. But by and large, it's very difficult to predict when during the season prices will be high or low.
No, he wants to answer the first part.
Two more questions.
If I can just answer the first part on the issue of how we license contracting companies. Contracting companies apply to TIMB in the first instance to establish a contract growing scheme. In their submission, besides submitting the usual administrative requirements in terms of company registration, that is local and so on, we also request that they provide irrefutable proof of funding for their scheme. They must also indicate the size of their scheme in terms of whether they want to produce whatever it is, 5 million, 10 million pounds of tobacco, or the extent of the scheme, and also the national distribution of the scheme. And the board, there's a production marketing committee of the board, which then invites the applicants for an oral interview to us, together with their supporting partners, whether they be banks or even farmers associations, to indicate that they are serious and that they are going to support their farmers in full. We don't want farmers being enticed by perhaps a few gimmicks here and there into being contracted. We want farmers to receive full packages for production. After the board is satisfied with that, the board then requests the contracting companies to enter into a memorandum of agreement. Previously, that MOU, so a memorandum would have been signed with the Ministry of Agriculture, but the ministry relegated those powers, or delegated the powers to TIMB. So the chairman, on behalf of the minister, signs that MOU with the contracting company. And then after that, the contracting company, in terms of the statutory instrument that came out in 2004, would have now to bring in foreign money through the Reserve Bank to support production. And that's how it's done. That's the registration of the contracting companies. Then you also ask for a response on what the TIMB or what the industry is doing to entice farmers to buy seed. We think that most of or rather the greater part of the decision to grow tobacco is left to the farmer. But we can entice the farmer to go into production by way of availing, for example, inputs for production. Yes, there are also, the chairman said, things to do with prices and so on, but I think those will always be with us for long time, those we produce an international commodity where prices will vary from year to year or even within the marketing season. But we will try our best, because we don't want to see our industry disappear. We will try our best to ensure that those farmers that wish to produce tobacco are supported with food. As I said, we will be rolling out an input supply scheme to assist those farmers who want to continue producing tobacco.
So to supplement that, Chair, before, I think you are coming, this time you are almost coming out clearly that there is some proof of funding that is shown or available to you as TIMB in order for you to license. It would appear that at the time you were saying you wouldn't know the extent to which a contractor would have funded for tobacco production in the country. But this time you are saying there's proof of funding that is brought to you in order for you to do some licensing. That's what I just wanted you to clarify.
Okay, thank you. Normally the proof comes in the form of bank officials coming to TIMB for the interview together with the applicant to say that, yeah, they are prepared, for example, to assist this contractor establish themselves. So it's not like they'll come with a figure or a check to say this is our check for the company. So it's not necessarily a figure or actual money, but we normally ask for proof, some sort of proof to indicate that this contracting company will not cheat our farmers, or will not hoodwink or fool our farmers into signing up.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My first question will be on the composition of the board itself. I've normally seen that boards, they have lawyers, so I also want to hear, is there an explanation why there's no legal counsel on the board? That would be my first question. Then the second question is on your growers' livelihoods. Because I understand that the reason why we are doing tobacco or as a country, we're investing so much in this is also to empower our own people, to make sure that their livelihoods are also improved at the end of the day. So I want to hear from you, our guests, to say, are you satisfied by the livelihoods of our farmers, considering that you have highlighted that last year, you have compared to this year's amount is 33% lower from the last year's price. So, as a board, are you satisfied with the livelihoods of your growers or of your farmers? And also the fact that you, as a board, you have increased the weighing and the auction fees at the expense of our farmers, which have also reduced, the price that you're buying their tobacco. So we also want to hear a comment from you guys. We strive to invest in tobacco because at the end of the day, we want to empower people, but there's no that benefit that is going to our farmers at the end of the day, because as honorable members of parliament, we also represent these people, we are representing the farmers. So is it not looking out of these, our own people, that there is no benefit that we are seeing from tobacco? Because at the end of the day, like the chairman has said, you are taking back the money and it's not benefiting us. What would be your comment on that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mohammed. The first question doesn't arise. They don't know how good you was chosen. Yeah. Let me answer the second one.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Yes, we do take particular note of the livelihoods of our farmers. As I said, we now have over 83% of our farmers are now small scale. These are communal area farmers and A1 farmers. And starting last year, but we've now started to do what we call various demographic studies to see whether there are changes, even in terms of property ownership and school children, how they are educated and where they are being educated, that sort of thing, issues to do with child labor and and also women, participation of women in the sector. Quite happy to report that I think about 30% of our registered growers are now women. And also the youth are also taking a greater role. The average age of our grower is now come down, it's now about 38. It's very good. So we do take pay particular attention to that. And these are some of the things that are now being increasingly demanded by our markets. They want to know whether the crop is actually addressing developmental issues, is now uplifting the livelihoods of farmers. Some countries, I can name, like in Brazil, there's a whole, almost like a whole ministry established to monitor the goings on in the tobacco industry with regards to the welfare of the farmer, to the extent that some of their ministries are now named ministries of agriculture and farmers' welfare, to ensure that farmers are actually benefiting from the commodity or commodities that they produce.
Thank you. I'll come back to you. Just want to find out something. Let's talk about board member fees, loan books, and employees for the board. We asked about that. We noticed that from the sheet that you sent, there is about $500,000 that you gave to CAT. I presume it's Chino University. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We do not give them money. That was for to establish tobacco curing systems and tobacco curing systems.
When you say you didn't give them money, what did you give them?
Maybe I can request Mr. Guru to detail what actually went to Chino University.
We assisted Chino University of Technology in developing the tobacco handling infrastructure. So we constructed some plants as a loan to the university. Because we actually a fund that we use to develop infrastructure for tobacco farmers, not only Chino University, but any other.
No, let's talk about universities. Not any other.
We developed some plants for them.
And you said it's a loan.
Yes.
But your boss said it's not about money.
No,
So how is it a loan? What's a loan?
We provided physical material, like bricks.
Were there donations?
No, not a donation.
But you said it's a loan? Is it a loan or what?
It's a loan.
It's a loan. What good?
It's the board.
It's the board. In this schedule, it says it's for board members only and employees. Here you are saying Chino is linked to a board member. That's why it was approved. Because it's linked to a board member. Which board member is this?
Vice Chancellor for the university was sitting in the previous board. But we did not process all that basis.
No, I'm taking from this thing that you submitted. This came from TIMB. I'm not guessing, I'm the prophet. I'm reading from here. The basis of the application that were based on the links to a board member. So we've recovered the 500,000 worth of materials.
Yes, we've recovered. I think what is only outstanding is 100,000, but it's not yet in arrears.
So you gave Chino University a loan of 500,000, right?
Yes.
Thank you. And then to Tomatibili, who approves your loans?
My loans are always approved by the board chairman, because there's no other higher authority.
The documentation that you had? Your documentation to that?
Yes, I do, but not true.
I noticed you have a loan of 122,946.30. Is that correct?
That is correct, Chair.
But it has been running for the past 4 years, not serviced. Why?
Oh, it's being serviced. It's being serviced direct from my salary.
But from the schedule that I got, your loan of 122,000 is not being serviced.
It's being serviced. I think you can ask the finance executive to be able to say it. It's being serviced directly from as a deduction from my salary.
So how many loans are you allowed to take as a CEO?
The number of loans doesn't really matter. I think what matters is the quantum. It must not exceed 25% of one's basic salary.
Annual salary or monthly salary?
Monthly.
Monthly?
Yeah.
25%?
Yeah, the repayment premium must not exceed 25% of the basic monthly salary.
And what's the total cost of the loans that we have right now?
I don't have the actual figures in my head, but I think that's the only one, that's the big one that I've got. I've taken various short-term loans to cover certain issues, more personal issues, but that's the long-term loan that I have. It's payable over 5 years.
Okay, we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this thing. It's quite interesting. We requested also. We requested funding of TIMBA quotas. You spent 27 million on the construction of your headquarters, right?
Correct.
Right. We requested the proof of. We requested funding of TIMBA quotas, tender procedures, adverts, proof of payments, and details of contractors. We only received contractors who did civil works, civil engineering, and we didn't receive the main contractor's documents. We noticed the main contractor is called Broker. We didn't get their details.
I'm quite surprised that is not included now. Because when I checked the boxes when they've been packed, that was there. I don't know, maybe I'll ask Fatima.
Maybe I'll give you so you 1 to 4. It's listed 1 to 4. 1 to 4. 1 to 4, there's nothing for main contractor. It's just about subcontractors only. When can you get that over the news? I've seen the copies as well.
Yeah, we've got copies within 48 hours. I'm sure it's delivered yet.
Honorable members, it's related to this in General.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I have 2 questions. The one, I just wanted to find out how much direct support the TINB is giving to growers, financial support, over the say last 2018 and 2019. How much financial support you injected into the industry? And then second is on beneficiation of tobacco. What strategies are there to improve on beneficiation or value addition on the core business of exporting the raw tobacco? What are the plans? Thank you.
Right. In terms of direct support to farmers, in 2017, we injected a total of $28.5 million United States dollars, where we supported 23,000 small-scale farmers. That was for 2017, 2018. In 2018, 2019, since we had not spent all the support that we received in 2017, some of it was rolled over into 2018, 2019 season. But for this coming season, 2019, 2020, the Reserve Bank had pledged 50 million United States dollars to support production of 40,000 hectares. And also pledged another 20 million United States dollars for the development of tobacco production related infrastructure to complement what TIMB and Agribank have been doing since 2014. From Agribank, we've been borrowing in tranches, I think up to about 3-4 million per year to support drip irrigation systems, the construction of what are called rocket barns. These are tobacco barns which use half the amount of firewood compared to normal, conventional or traditional tobacco barns.
Thank you. Any further
sorry, Chair, he hasn't answered the other part on beneficiation.
Oh, thank you. On beneficiation, a lot of that is actually dependent on the industry. As TIMB, our policies, the initial basis of our policy is that no tobacco can be exported from Zimbabwe without some value addition. So the first form of value addition that is done to tobacco, what is called tipping and threshing, where the midrib or the center of the leaf, the stiff part of the leaf, and the lamina is separated from that, and it's excellent. That is one. And we also encourage exporting companies to export tobacco that is now in a form that is almost ready to be rolled into cigarettes. And we've seen an increase, a gradual increase. It's now, I think, about 5% for exports are now being exported as cut fat. And that is mostly exported to the Middle East, to the United Arab Emirates. On the manufacture of cigarettes, we've been in talks now with companies from China who wish to establish cigarette manufacturing plants in the country. And in that regard, we've also seen encouraging signs from one of the cigarette manufacturing companies in Zimbabwe, which is now manufacturing cigarettes which are destined for consumption by the Chinese in the diaspora, mostly in Africa, Angola, and places like that. So we are trying to promote those sort of things. We are also looking at trying to promote the establishment of another tobacco processing plant, because we believe there is need for an independent or for another, a fourth tobacco processing plant in the country.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair. Dr. Badibiri, a couple of weeks ago, we had workers from Premier Tobacco Company that came here and presented their issues, and they said they came to TIMB seeking you guys to mitigate their issues with the Premier. What is the position with regards to that issue?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we saw the reports that emanated from this Guest House on the issue of those members of staff or former members of staff of Premier. Following that receipt or reading that report in the newspaper, we talked to the management at Premier, and they assured us that those staff appeared to be disgruntled former workers who had not aggrieved because they had not been, their contracts of employment had not been renewed. And being an internal matter, the TIMB did not take it further than that. But we did not, we have not received any formal complaints from those members of staff.
Sorry, Chair. Are you saying they never came to you?
That's correct. They never came to you, unless if they saw somebody else at TIMB.
That's complete. They told us that it was the total African. So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. My question is on the competition, in particular the chairman, Mr. Patrick Christian, that he is the chief executive officer of TSF, the Council of School, and at the same time is the board chairman of the TIF. How I can see the conflict of interest in that. How can he not recognize himself?
Chairman, I was appointed by the Minister to this role. I was extensively investigated by people from the President's office and various other government bodies. I assume that they were well aware of what I was doing. I was asked to submit a full CV before this was done, and I accepted the role. So that's it.
But is it proper whether you were appointed, but would you be able to discharge your duties in a neutral way?
action and some regulators will happen.
Yeah, I think, Chairman, that this board is appointed by the Minister of Agriculture.
I think it's intended to be.
I think that is probably where the question needs to go. Yeah.
Any further questions?
I want to know if the farmers are going to receive the export incentives this year. And the other question is the regulator can be encouraging the companies who are buying tobacco to partake social corporate investment in the community.
Thank you. On the issue of incentives, so far we've not received any word from monetary or fiscal authorities whether there's going to be such a thing payable to farmers. But bear in mind that from what we've seen when the marketing season started, the interbank rate was 3 or 2.5, actually 2.5. Now it's over 8, almost 9, 10. We will, on behalf of Tobacco Association, see what can be done to alleviate the plight or to ensure social responsibilities by corporates within the industry. We encourage those sort of things. You may not be aware, but a lot of the companies are involved in looking after orphans and things like that, establishing schools and running schools and building clinics and that sort of things, and also maintaining roads and infrastructure in the outlying areas, especially in the tobacco growing districts. So yes, we do districts. So yes, we do encourage that sort of thing from individual companies.
Thank you.
To follow up question,
On that one.
yeah, can we give examples as to where is this happening? Because we can't see anything.
Chairman, if you visit some of the tobacco companies, you will see they have in their boardrooms and public areas examples of the work that they've done. I was at TNZ Tobacco the other day, and they built a large school out at Donato Farm, just here in Harare South, where I think you'd be very impressed. But there are many projects like that. There are many projects like that.
Yeah, I'm saying this because we wanted to come and TSF for this. Luckily, TSF for this. Luckily, issue that is so pathetic.
If I can, Nyarazo, I think in Highfield, in drilling balls here and there.
In Highfield?
Yes. Was it, well, it's now called what, First Start Center, I'm not so sure the name, but they do take care of that institution. In terms of the road or the road network in the tobacco area, when the mayor visited TRMB just before the start of the season, we brought this to his attention that the tobacco industry is being very important and that we also host a number of international investors and companies. Perhaps you could look into retiring or resurfacing those roads, get enough financing and that we look into it, but we're still waiting.